Okay, you've been hearing the conversation, Samuel Eto'o, with the whole thing happening with the Federation of African Football and that's CAF, and also the Federation of Football in Cameroon. What's your take on all of this happening with Samuel Eto'o?
Well, first of all, I'm quite surprised about these sort of allegations that have been raised against him, plus the issues that have been going on, because, you know, for someone who is well-traveled around the world, who has played for a lot of top clubs, professional clubs, and someone who has gone through a tough stint in African football, especially with Cameroon, I expected him to know better. I mean, there have been so many things that have been said against Samuel Eto'o. You know, first of all, him owning an agency whereby players who want to play for Cameroon, they have to pay a certain fee to that agency, which he owns. And then, you know, talking about, him possibly committing acts that could maybe be linked to match fixing, and things about, doing things that question the integrity of football as well. So I'm quite surprised with all of this going on. And I think his stint with FECAFOOT has absolutely been, honestly, it's been, should I say, a bit shambolic and kind of, the word I'm looking for is something that, how will I put it? Should I say dramatic or whatnot? It's been controversial, for lack of better word. It's been controversial. And considering the fact that, he's someone who knows what is right, you would expect him to do better. I think the only positive from him being the president of FECAFOOT, was first of all him standing his ground, considering the appointment of a new coach by the government, which should not be so, ideally, according to FIFA rules. And also, it seemed to be that he has been protecting some players. However, we still have also heard rumors of him, wanting to impose his own authority on the team, influencing the coach, trying to tell him what players to pick, and what sort of formation to use and whatnot. I think he should just stick to the administrative affairs and leave what happens on the pitch to the coaches and the players as well. But, considering these new allegations, he should know better. I mean, taking on a deal to become a brand ambassador to a betting company when you are in an administrative position in football, he should know better, to be honest. But thankfully, he has been fined, which is the right thing to do according to CAF. But what happens going forward? Talking about FECAFOOT, there's still a whole lot going on. We know that there's really no rest in FECAFOOT. It's been a back and forth battle between FECAFOOT and the Cameroonian Sports Ministry as well. So we will still know more things that are going to go on between the Ministry of Sports in Cameroon and FECAFOOT. And trust me, before the end of the year, we will continue to see Samuel Eto'o and FECAFOOT in the headlines.
Well, Samuel Eto'o and FECAFOOT in the headlines, and the drama continues over there in Cameroon. I've still got Valentine Bambot on the line. I know the network is really crazy. The gremlins are creeping in, not wanting us to have this conversation, but we must have it. Valentine, yeah, thanks for hanging on there. So this fine on Samuel Eto'o, $200,000, yeah, he gets paid, but what is the way forward? Going forward now, what should you expect from FECAFOOT, the Ministry of Sports, and Samuel Eto'o?
Yes, don't want to pay the money. They are going to be appealed particular decision by the Confederation of African Football Committee. They're going to appeal the decision. His lawyers made it very clear that they are not interested in paying the money, and they think it's preposterous that Samuel Eto'o is innocent of all accusations. Well, like my fellow sportsman rightly said, Samuel Eto'o should know better. The CAF stated very clear in Article 2, Paragraph 3, that if you are president of a federation or any federation, you're not supposed to have any links with a sports betting company. And Samuel Eto'o should be well aware of this. He signed a deal of 300 million francs CFA, and his fine, as you did mention, 200,000 US dollars is equivalent to over 250,000 or 250 million francs CFA. So that's what most people expected, that if the amount you got from the bet or from the deal is more than the fine you're getting, so you should just pay the fine and move forward. But apparently Samuel Eto'o's lawyers are not interested in paying this. What we expect going on is for peace to reign in Cameroonian football, because as it stands, there is still this silent war going on between the Cameroon Football Federation and the Ministry of Sports and Education, there has been recently talks about Samuel Eto'o having a dual nationality. There have been talks of Samuel Eto'o should resign, calls for his resignation, and there have also been talks of him being a dictator at the helm of the Cameroon Football Federation. So I think the president of the Football Federation, Samuel Eto'o, really needs to look at all of these allegations and have a rethink of what he is doing wrong and what he should do right for Cameroon football.
All right. And if you are in his position now, do you think Samuel Eto'o will step down as the president? Because like I said earlier, it feels like a topsy-turvy move between Samuel Eto'o and the Ministry of Sports. But would it be better for him to step down and cover shame?
Jogo step down is not a Cameroonian thing. From our ministers to our president, we don't step down. They don't step down from power. No matter, I think it's also an African thing. We're having a similar thing in Kenya, not to go into politics, but you call on a president or a minister or prime minister to step down, to resign. They don't do that. Well, apparently Samuel Eto'o staged, many people call it staged, a resignation a few months back, but it was rejected by members of his committee, of the executive committee of PECAFOOD. So apparently he tried to resign, but he was told, no, you can do this, you can stay and you can carry on. So apparently we only have to wait for Samuel Eto'o's term of office to run to an end. But in this time, in this period, what has to change is what Cameroonians are looking forward to. Yes, it is true Samuel Eto'o has some die-hard fans. I tell you, if you go to the capital city, Yaoundé, you will find so many persons who are still, die-hard fans of Samuel Eto'o, who think that whatever thing Samuel Eto'o does, he is right. But, as humans, we are also liable to making mistakes. Samuel Eto'o can also make mistakes, in his administration, in his way he talks to his staff. Many persons have come out to say he's not doing such a great job when it comes to management. Good football player, but it doesn't necessarily mean you are going to be a great football administrator. So I think Samuel Eto'o really needs to sit back and look at, what am I doing wrong? Why seem to be for the Football Federation and also for the Cameroon football? So he has to take a minute, pause, and look at that and see how we can move forward from here.
All right, we'll see how things turn out between Samuel Eto'o and, of course, the Ministry of Sports and then CAF, because they are refusing to pay that $200,000 fine. We'll see how that turns out, and we'll keep tabs on that story as it develops. Thank you very much, Valentine Bambot, for joining us, and do enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much for having me.
All righty.